Long before Christopher Columbus set sail across the Atlantic Ocean to reach the Americas, brave Norse explorers had already established settlements in Greenland and even the eastern coast of North America. These incredible voyages of discovery were made possible by the Vikings, a group of Scandinavian seafarers who lived from the 8th to 11th centuries. And today, we're going to take a closer look at one of their most legendary tales, the story of Erik the Red and his discovery of the island that would later become known as Greenland. The exact origins of the Vikings are unknown, but they're generally believed to have emerged as a distinct cultural group in Scandinavia during the 8th century. As fierce warriors and skilled shipbuilders, the Vikings quickly established a reputation for themselves throughout Europe. They raided coastal settlements, pillaged inland towns, and even ventured into the open seas to explore uncharted territories. But despite their fearsome reputation, the Vikings were also known for their love of adventure and exploration. They were driven by a desire for new lands to settle, new resources to exploit, and new challenges to overcome. And it was this spirit of adventure that led them to make some truly remarkable voyages. One of the most famous of these voyages was the journey of Erik the Red, a notorious Viking chieftain who was banished from Iceland for murder. According to legend, Erik was a larger-than-life character, known for his fiery temper and his impressive feats of strength and courage. When he wasn't exploring or fighting, Erik enjoyed drinking, partying, and having a good time. He was also known for his skill in law and his ability to mediate disputes between rival factions. However, his larger-than-life personality often got him into trouble, and eventually he was charged with murdering a fellow Icelander. Although he claimed self-defense, Erik was found guilty and sentenced to exile from Iceland for 3 years. Determined to make the best of his situation, Erik set sail west with a handful of loyal followers and soon discovered a vast, uninhabited island that would later become known as Greenland. It's believed that Erik actually discovered several islands in the region, including Ellesmere Island and Greenland itself, but it was the latter that would have the most profound impact on history. Greenland is an enormous island, roughly the size of Mexico, and it offered the Vikings a new land of opportunity. Unlike Iceland, which had already been settled by other Norsemen, Greenland was a largely unexplored and unsettled territory. This meant that Erik and his followers had the chance to establish their own settlements and carve out their own piece of land. Erik wasted no time in doing so. He quickly established a trading post on the island and began to recruit more settlers from Iceland and Norway. Within a few years, he had created a thriving community of Norsemen in Greenland. But as Erik traveled around the island, he realized that it had one major drawback. Unlike the name suggested, much of it was not green at all. In fact, most of the island was covered in ice and snow, making it difficult for the Vikings to survive. However, Erik was undeterred. He continued to explore the island, searching for a better location for his settlement. And eventually he found it on the southwest coast of Greenland, where the climate was milder and the land was more hospitable. Erik established a second settlement here, and it quickly became the center of Norse activity in Greenland. From this base, the Vikings began to explore the surrounding waters, hunting for whales, seals, and other marine animals. They also began to establish trade routes with other Norse settlements, bringing in goods such as timber, fish, and livestock. The Vikings in Greenland lived a more relaxed lifestyle than their counterparts in Scandinavia. They were more focused on farming, trading, and exploring than on raiding and pillaging. However, they were still fierce warriors, and they were able to defend their settlements from attacks by other Norsemen, as well as by Inuit people who had migrated to Greenland from Canada. Inuit, also known as Eskimo, are an indigenous people who have lived in the Arctic regions of North America for thousands of years. They are known for their unique culture, which has been shaped by the harsh environment of the Arctic, and their advanced knowledge of survival techniques and adaptation strategies. The Inuit people are skilled hunters and have developed sophisticated methods for hunting marine mammals such as whales, seals, and walruses. They are also expert dog sledders and have used dogs to help them travel and hunt for centuries. Additionally, the Inuit people are renowned for their craftsmanship and have created beautiful works of art from materials such as bone, ivory, and wood. Their traditional clothing is also highly adapted to the Arctic environment and is designed to keep them warm and protected from the elements. Despite the challenges of living in one of the most inhospitable environments on Earth, the Inuit people have thrived for thousands of years and continue to maintain their unique culture and traditions. Unfortunately, not much is known about the interactions between the Vikings and the Inuit people. Most of what we know comes from the writings of Norse explorers and historians. One of the most famous accounts was written by Erik the Red's son, Leif Erikson, who is considered to be the first European to have set foot in North America. Leif was just 19 years old when his father was exiled from Iceland, and he accompanied Erik on his voyage to Greenland. Growing up in Greenland, Leif developed a deep love for the island and its people, but he never forgot his Icelandic roots, and he longed to see the world beyond Greenland. When Leif was 28 years old, he decided to set off on his own adventure. He sailed west from Greenland and eventually reached the shores of North America, specifically the island of Newfoundland. Leif named this land Vinland because he believed that it was the source of the delicious wild grapes that grew there. He established a small settlement here, but it was short-lived, and the Norsemen eventually abandoned their efforts to colonize North America. Overall, the Norsemen's voyages of exploration were a remarkable feat of human adventure and discovery. Despite the dangers and challenges they faced, they were able to explore and settle new lands, establish trade routes, and make significant contributions to our understanding of the world. Their legacy continues to inspire explorers and adventurers today, and their stories remind us of the importance of curiosity, bravery, and the pursuit of knowledge. Another famous Viking explorer was Ivar the Boneless, who was the leader of the great heathen army that invaded England in the 9th century. Despite his nickname, Ivar was actually a brilliant strategist and military leader, who is said to have conquered much of northern and central England. He was also responsible for founding the Danelaw, a region in northern England that was ruled by Danish kings for several centuries. Another notable Viking explorer was Canute the Great, who was the first ruler to unite England, Denmark, and Norway under one crown. He was a skilled diplomat and administrator who was able to maintain peace and stability in his vast empire. Canute, the Great reigns, marked the height of Viking power and influence in Europe. These legendary tales of Norse exploration and discovery have been passed down through generations and continue to captivate people today. Whether you're interested in history, adventure, or simply the human spirit of exploration, the voyages of the Vikings are sure to inspire and amaze you. But it wasn't just the Vikings who were exploring the world at this time. The Chinese were also venturing far beyond their own borders, traveling along the famous Silk Road and establishing trade routes that stretched from the Pacific Ocean to the Mediterranean Sea. One of the most famous Chinese explorers was Zhang He, an admiral who led 7 massive naval expeditions across the Indian Ocean during the 15th century. Zhang He's fleet was the largest and most advanced of its time, and he traveled as far as Africa and the Middle East. His voyages were a testament to the power and sophistication of the Chinese civilization, and they helped to spread Chinese culture and influence throughout Asia and beyond. It was a time of great exploration and discovery, and these voyages would have a profound impact on the course of world history. The Vikings' voyages of exploration were a remarkable feat of human adventure and discovery. Despite the dangers and challenges they faced, they were able to explore and settle new lands, establish trade routes, and make significant contributions to our understanding of the world. Their legacy continues to inspire explorers and adventurers today, and their stories remind us of the importance of curiosity, bravery, and the pursuit of knowledge. So if you're looking for an exciting and educational adventure, then look no further than the legendary tales of Norse exploration. You won't be disappointed. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more epic historical journeys. Thanks for watching.